Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy, and I'm here for a stitching update. It's been a long time since I did a real one because of arbitrary August, but it's really good to be back. Really happy to kind of get back into normal stitching and normal routine. I know a lot of people took the arbitrary August concept and are running with it, and they're going into September, into the end of the year, and randomizing everything. And that's kind of fun to see the snowball effect of what I just kind of on a whim started. But I'm ready to do planning again and ready to, stick to what I want to stitch. And I am really happy I did arbitrary August, and there's certain things that I'm thinking of incorporating into my plans that I may not have because I had forgotten about them. So it's been good. So what I want to do now is, this past week was my birthday, so I have a few goodies I would like to show. Some Flosstube friends showered me with kindness, and one of them was a gift certificate, so I'll have to show you that later. I haven't quite decided what I want to get yet. We'll have to wait and see. And the other one was some physical goodies that came in the mail. There were some pretty silks. They're not quite showing up right. And a Color and Cotton Holiday Mint. It's a 28 count Lugana, so maybe those will show up better on that. That's a little better. So they're really pretty, very pettable. I've never tried Silken Colors, so that's what this one is. And I think I have one or two dinky dyes for my chatelaine. I'm not positive, but they're very, very soft. And she also got me some stitchable owl buttons, which I guess you stitch their eyes. So those were kind of cute. I could see stitching those and making them into needle minders, which could be fun. So you know who you are. Thank you for that. And a sweet card. And my mother-in-law got me some Color Variations. This is the Blue Lagoon one, so these ones are really pretty. I think some of the packs, when I first put them on my wish list, some of the packs, all of the packs were on Amazon, and now a lot of them are not there anymore. So these are, Color Variations. So those are some of those colors. So those are really pretty. And I realized I have another pack of these that I got a while back, and some other other brands of variegated floss that I only have one or two of. So, as well as a few silks and things. It's like these new ones I got. So, I have those bobbins. I have a whole box full of, I'll just show you. This is one of my fancy floss boxes with General Art, Weeks, Crescent Color Works, and Classic Color Works, and Color and Cotton. And these are some of the ones I was currently working on with my last project. But that one will get filled up with my new Color and Cotton subscription. And then I have my Victorian Motto box, which is all Victorian mottos, which is practically full. And I have this one that started out with just like the original DMC variegateds, and so I started to add some of the color variations that I had been gifted. So there's a few newer ones here, so I can fill up the rest of this box with the new DMC variations and Coloris and all of those types of things that I've been picking up and being gifted. And then there's like a hand-dyed by Rolanda one that Rita Marie gave me, and a few silks that are not necessarily earmarked for a project. So I need to get those all in there so they're ready and able to be looked at whenever I'm ready to do a color conversion of some kind. So speaking of color conversions, I've been doing a good amount of that lately, and I had a request on Instagram, I believe, to, if there was anywhere to go look for the color conversions that I have, and really there wasn't, because I would share them sometimes on my videos, but it's hard to catalog that and to know exactly where to go find all the color conversions, and some of them I hadn't necessarily specifically said unless people asked. So I decided to make a blog, and it will not be a regularly updated blog, but it will have any color conversions that I do. So far there's only one post up. It's the Joy pattern by Stitch Rovia. I was just doing them historically since I started Flosstube, the ones that I had been doing. So I will be adding on the Falling Leaves by DMC and Nantucket Rose, because I'm changing her hair and the house, and my Norah Corbett letter, you know, like anything that I've done that I've changed, I'll write out what my changes were in case other people care and want to do it that way too. So you can be looking for that, and I'll be updating it, you know, periodically till it's current, and then I'll update it whenever I do something new that makes a new conversion. So there were also a couple more not stitchy but really fun birthday presents I thought I would share. One was a Pride and Prejudice coloring book, which I thought was really fun. So I got, oops, just pretty line drawings. So I am a sucker for those, so that was fun. And this is thanks to Tina by Simply in Stitches. My mother-in-law got me this. And this is a puzzle of a stitch in time, a stitching shelf. And I first saw this on Tina's channel. You can see the iPad there. And immediately went out and put it on my wish list. And then Stephanie from Miss Oso Crafty, she went out and bought it. So she's already posted her, you know, finished puzzle on one of her videos. And I was still waiting because I just had it on my wish list, but now I have it. So now I can do it too. So that was an exciting thing. And my stitching shelf, I've got this much done. So I think the puzzle will go a little bit faster. And I also got a new mug. I know a lot of you like mugs. This is a Ray Dunn mug. It says bloom where you are planted, with some pretty flowers, and the inside is pink, which is really me. It's like a dark burgundy. It's not, yeah, that's more like it. I used to have this tagline on my family blog when I only had one child, and I was posting all sorts of videos and pictures for grandmas and aunts and uncles, and I don't do that anymore. I barely post to Facebook. I'm so bad. But that was a fun mug that I got. So that's all my birthday shenanigans. And when I get my gifts from the gift card, I will share those as well. I haven't quite decided if I want to like kit up something new or kit up something I already have. I'm kind of leaning towards, at this point, I'm leaning towards getting fabric and beads for the Lily of the Woods pattern I just got from Elizabeth at Vintage Stitches, because there's a fabric online that looks similar to the one I did my Midsummer Night's Fairy on, and so I think it would be fun to just get it and have it kitted and ready to go, because that would be a really pretty companion piece. So, not that I need any more mirrors started, and as you know, I'm kind of like banning starts for a while, within reason. We'll discuss later, but I do think I want to really minimize my starts next year, and I had some seasonal things that I wanted to start, because I see everybody else working on seasonal things, and I have some seasonal cross like floral crosses that I wanted to start. I have all 4 seasons now, and I was going to start those every season, and I was going to work on my Lavender and Lace Celtic Ladies seasons. That's a lot of starts, and after seeing all the things that I have, I'm trying not to have that many starts until I kind of work on what I've got. So something that I just realized, I think it was this morning even, my To Everything There Is a Season sampler, that is a kit that I did not pull for Arbitrary August, but I realized I really liked that, and I was sad it didn't get pulled. I just need to make time for it. That would be a perfect one to pull out at least once a quarter and work on the section of it that goes with that season, because it has like fall leaves in one section and spring flowers in another section. So it has like different elements from the different seasons in that one piece. So that could be a fun way to give it some love and see if it can get closer to a finish next year. So some things like that I'm kind of like throwing around in my head to kind of decide how I can, you know, maximize all the whips I already have and make it feel fun and fresh still. So anyways, besides my blog, which is new, I'll link that below, I also have an updated temperature garden in my shop. Someone requested a high and low temperature garden. So there's, the inner one would be lows. So if you have not already done this, this is an option that I now have in my shop, that you could do highs and lows for each day. They're cute little petals, so having a low, there's not too many stitches to break it up, but I thought this looked nice as a fun way to break it up and have a way to catalog highs and lows. And the quilt pattern that I just came out with has highs and lows also. I have another temperature idea that's in the works. Not sure how long it's going to take to develop because it's kind of complicated, but I've already got the color palette sorted out and it's exciting. So I'm hoping I can get that one done before the end of the year. So you can be anticipating however antsy you are or not. Okay, so going forward, what I worked on in September so far, I worked on my Storytime Sampler, and this time I'm down here in Black Beauty, and I was really hoping to get it done. I gave it 4 days in the beginning of September, and I didn't finish it. I don't know, I think I was a little bit obsessed with my new pattern idea on some of the days, and so I was working on that throughout the afternoon, even when I normally stitch when my kids are doing their homework and stuff. So that took away some time from this, but that's okay. It'll get done. My Adventure Awaits is almost finished, that clue, and so this one will come into the car to finish up pretty soon. So this is what it looked like last time. And this is what it looks like now. No more in the border yet, and this is what, there we go, that's pretty good. And then this is what Black Beauty looks like. So a good amount done. The little guy is not ready yet. I don't have a huge remembrance of this story. I think I watched the movie, but that's about it. So it is cute though. I knew it more than Lady of Shalott, so it could stay. So there is Storytime Sampler, and hopefully I can have that finished soon and get back to those Little House Needleworks month series that I've been sadly neglecting all summer. So that needs to go back in my travel bag. And then on the 2nd, I worked on my son's piece, and I have this is a color conversion that I'll have on my blog eventually, because I'm turning this guy into a Denver Bronco, which they had their first game yesterday and they won. Woohoo! So here we go. This is where I'm at right now. And on the day that I worked on it here in September, I did backstitching. So last time when I worked on it in Arbitrary August, I finished the stitching in this area. And so now I did have to check the color conversion, the colors for backstitching like I thought. But I ended up keeping the colors the same for the most part. They just were maybe in a different spot, and there was one color that I just nixed altogether that I decided I didn't need. So there's one color that I just worked on the whole time, which was for the white and the dark blue around here, and I outlined the 7 in and out of the blue border. It's kind of hard to tell it's there, but it does give it a little more distinction. Outlined his collar, outlined most of this one is backstitched. This one's almost done. And then I'll backstitch this band, and next time I bring it out, I'll backstitch his face because he has a few facial features and skin, and then another color will be for the orange and the football, and then move down into the rest of the picture. So then I'll be officially done with the top chunk of the pattern, which is hard to read, so I'm really excited to be done with that section. And I think it's looking pretty good. And my son is really happy about it. I asked him if he wanted this border stitched, and he said no, because it made it look like it was less real, like less like they were on a real field. And this guy is kind of tucked behind the border, but I didn't really like it either. So I'm just going to leave it as is without the border and hope it doesn't look too bad. So there's that one. I'm enjoying working on that one day every month. I can put words together. This is another one I worked on the 4th. This is for my daughter, the Snow Queen, and by Shannon Wasseliff, or Shannon Christine Designs is her company name. And this one is a focus for a finish this year. And for September, I was only planning to work on her on the 4th. And then when October rolled around, I want to start focusing on some of the little Christmas pieces. The Christmas wreath and the Christmas ice skating stocking, I think, are a higher priority than this one, because I think I could get them done and ready for Christmas, while this one I could be stitching in December as well. But I gave it like 4 days at the beginning of October instead of just the one, to give it a nice solid chunk. And then start working on my focused pieces, on my other focused pieces, because I figured I'd rather give it some small chunks before I just focus for a finish, because I don't want to get burnt out on it. And then I was talking with Shelly, Key X Stitch, and her and I are going to go to a Southern California retreat at the end of September, and she was asking what I was going to bring, and I hadn't thought about it, but while I was texting her, I realized I should bring Snow Queen, because it's on Aida, so it should be fairly easy to stitch while we're chit-chatting. I won't get off by half a stitch if I were on linen or even weave, and Shelly really likes it, so it would be something that she could enjoy seeing progress while we're there together. And so we'll give it another 3 days during the retreat, so this could potentially be a lot closer to a finish than I anticipated, but maybe, yeah, because it could be fun maybe to get it done before my daughter's birthday at the beginning of December and gift it to her, even though she knows I'm working on it. It could be something she could open, like framed and everything. So we shall see. This is what it looked like last time, and here it is now. So this time I finished this white, the darkest white, which is a pale blue, and then did it down here too. And then I worked on the medium red-violet color in this section and along the bottom. And I actually did a tiny bit the following day just so I could finish that color down here, because it looked really cool having that all filled in. So the next color, I think I'll bring out the medium teal color, then the medium purple, but that'll all be during the retreat. So potentially I could get a whole bunch of colors done during the retreat. So it's a nice small retreat that seems like it's going to be pretty relaxing and low-key, and I'm sure there will be visiting, but I think there's probably going to be a good amount of stitching that happens. I think if there's like a large, multiple hundreds of people, I could see it being harder to get stitching done, because there'd be so many people that you might want to try to find to talk to. But if I think there's only a little over 30 people at this one, so it should be a little bit more of an intimate time where you can just relax and stitch together. So that's kind of what I'm guessing. I don't know. I've never been there. But I'm looking forward to that and seeing how much I can get done on that. I might also I'll probably also bring like the month series for the Little House Needleworks, like my travel piece, and then maybe my Norah Corbett fairy, and like if people want to see something else and they're going to it, they can say something and say, oh, bring this piece to at least show, even if I don't stitch on it while we're there. So I'm open to suggestions. Then the last thing I worked on so far in September was my Norah Corbett S for my birthday. This was a birthday start. And I had a blast working on this. So much fun. I allowed myself so much stitching time on Friday. And Saturday and Sunday were more busy, but I still got a little bit on both of those days. So this is where I'm at in 3 days. And what I did that's different for sure is I'm adding blending filament to all of her wings. So the 2 colors I picked for her wings, I'm doing 1 strand of floss and 1 strand of blending filament. It's kind of hard to see. Occasionally you can pick up some sparkles. And that sunspot is not helping. So those are a little bluer than I had anticipated because the blending filament does have some color in it. And then I added the beads in her hair already. And those are really pretty purpley blue beads. And these are all, a lot of these are new Color and Cotton from that pack that all worked so nicely together. This chic color does blend in pretty well to the fabric. I'm actually using that color to bead because it is such a good match to the fabric, better than any DMC I could find. But I think it's going to be okay. So I'm really, really, really excited about this. It's already got so much progress. And the fabric is 32 count Lugana Rosewater by Color and Cotton with a lot of flosses that this part out here is looking, yeah, it's a little better from back here maybe, because the inside is reddish and this outside is not as red. It's looking more red in the picture. Like these bits are less red than they look on the camera, but that's okay. It looks very dusty purple up here, the whole thing. So I'm not sure how to make that true, but that's okay. I guess I need to take a picture of that to put on Instagram now because I'm moving on. I really want to keep working on it, but I have decided going forward, in addition to my kids' pieces, I'm going to have another 3 daily rotations on specific dates. So I'll have my niece's letter, which will be started later this month, and I'll do hers on every 26th of every month. And then I'll have mine, which I'll do every 7th of every month. And then I'll have my husband's, which will be the Simpsons piece on the 1st of every month. So we will, because it would be nice to see progress on that regularly also. So that will give me 6 pieces that will get at least 1 day every month to kind of chip away at, and then I can plug in bigger chunks of other things that go with themes or go with whatever I'm feeling. A lot of things in September are just what I'm feeling. So let's see, going forward, I guess I will talk about what I've been working on besides that this week. That's first, before I talk about plans. So this is where my Furry Animals freebie was last time. And here it is now. And sunspot, I covered up there, that's better. I covered up I have a little window up at the top, like a half crescent kind of window that doesn't have any shades on it, and it was really blinding over here when I first set it up. But now it's right in front where I want to show you guys, so that's kind of annoying. That's where I'm at now. I forgot to stitch on this yesterday because my parents were visiting, and I was working on my fairy whenever I did sit down to stitch, so oops. I'm already out of the challenge, so it's not a big deal, but I am working on this a little bit every day and hoping to get that done maybe by the end of the year if I keep plugging away at it. So that's a fun one that's coming along, and my other one is my Caterpillar Adventure Awaits Sal that looks like a map, and I am almost done with the 3rd clue. Super close to being done. This is where it looks now, and here's Africa. Stupid sunspot. Guess you'll just see it from here. And this is all done. The pyramids, there's the sunshine, some sand, trees, thatched huts, Mount Kilimanjaro, and this Jeep, and I just have to finish the bottom of the red on the Jeep. And it will be done. So that should get done today in the valet line. And then I'll pull out Storytime Sampler and finish up Black Beauty real quick before I get those months out. Hopefully I can get it all done and get some work on those months before this clue, the 4th clue, comes out on the 22nd. So, because I always feel like, oh, I'll totally get this done, and then it's like, nope, I really didn't. I underestimate how much I can get done in 15 minutes. So, and then of course if somebody texts you or whatever, it takes away time. So, going forward into this week, my plans are to work on Lady of the Flag for 2 days in honor of September 11th, which is on Tuesday. That's what this was designed for. And she is here. And I'm going to start working on her today, just because I felt like she needed more than 2 days. And let's see, maybe it's not ideal, but I'll put her up against this. That's where she's at right now. And so hopefully I'm planning to fill in like more of her and some of her, like the top of the flagpole and the top of the torch and her face and hair and all that stuff. So to get her looking a little nicer. So that's where she's at right now. And then the rest of this week, I'm going to work on some full coverage pieces to go with full coverage fanatics. And they're only going to get 2 days each, just because I had so many other things that kind of filled up I think Lady of the Flag I had forgotten about wanting to do in September, and so these 2 full coverage pieces each had 3 days, and then when I decided I wanted to do Lady of the Flag, I decided to give her 2 days and then drop down each of the full coverage to 2 days, so then all 3 of them get 2 days instead of 2 of them with 3 days. So the first full coverage piece will be Waterfall in Yosemite. And this is because, what's the theme for this one? Summer, maybe? My last piece for the quarterly summer sal, because a lot of people go to Yosemite in the summer. It is very crowded in the summer. I've never necessarily been there in the summer. But from what I understand, like as soon as like campgrounds and things are open for reservations at some point, there's like it's like a concert, a sellout concert where you have to go in and like click that button online within the first few seconds or you won't get a reservation for the year. So it's pretty intense. And this year they've had a lot of wildfires up there, which is really sad. So my husband and his son were planning to go near Mammoth, I think, to hike, to go backpacking this summer, and it was close enough to all the wildfires that the air quality was just too bad to be living outside for 3 days. So they didn't end up getting to go, which was kind of sad. So hopefully all the wildfires will get put out soon and not too much damage of property or people. So the next thing that I will work on later in the week will be La Soiree, because the September monthly theme is traditions or yellow, and this one has a lot of yellow. I'm in the yellow background right now, so I figured I'll do that. So I'm doing yellow wallpaper, and listening to music is kind of a tradition, right? But it's mostly for the yellow. Oh, you know what? I never showed you the actual piece. I got sidetracked. This is where Waterfall in Yosemite is right now. Forgot to show you that. So I'm not sure. I really want to connect the sky, but I also might want to work in these park threads. So I'll kind of wait and see what I'm feeling at the time. If I want to work on rocks or sky, or maybe a little bit of both. And La Soiree I worked on her a little bit in Arbitrary August, and so it's got, I think, like 2 full columns and like parts of column 3 and 4. So there's where that is right now, and it's all these pale buttery yellows, and it's kind of hard to see with the way the lighting is right now. With, yeah, you can kind of see there's some swirls in the wallpaper that are kind of coming together. So that's kind of cool to see. Once you finish the column, you're like, oh, that looks fun. There's a pattern in the wallpaper. So I will work on that for a couple days for full coverage fanatics. And then I'm going to give a 3-day rotation to my Twisted Band Sampler, which will probably start Sunday. And so I'll be in the middle of this one if I film again on Monday. But I will have gotten a little bit done. So I will show you where that is now, since there will probably be some progress before I see you again. And so this is where this is now. Worked on this for 1 day in Arbitrary August and started this lighter, like medium orange color, and did 1 stitch down the middle, and then I'm doing another stitch to fill in the gap, and then there's a 3rd stitch on the outside before I go on to the next cross stitch band. So hopefully I can get those specialty stitches finished and a nice start on the cross stitch band this coming rotation. And so I think that's all I have. That's what I'm planning to work on before next week, when I will hopefully come back on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. I don't think anything's happening next week that would keep me from filming Monday, but you never know. So I will just continue to enjoy my stitching, and I hope you enjoy yours. I have a couple more like fun things planned for oh, I guess I don't have the Nativity Sampler. I thought I did. I have my Chatelaine coming out again next week. Huh. Maybe I just didn't have room for it because of the full coverage pieces that I wanted to get done for the full coverage fanatics. But we'll see. It'll be fun to work on anything I have, because I love them all. And I hope you enjoy your stitching too. And if I forgot anything, I'll hopefully remember it next week, because I'm, again, not taking any notes. But I will link my new blog down below, and my shop and Facebook links are always down there. And any people that I reference and any projects that I show, I try to link everything down below. So if you're looking for something, just go check there first. And feel free to ask any questions that you might have. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy stitching!